What's up? Oh. What's up? Oh. What's up, Black Raven? So somebody tell me what the point of a logo switch is. I'm doing all right. How's my sound? Is everything good on my sound? Are we still chilling there? Am I still good? You don't have to turn your phones up or anything. I'm still playing with the sound. So I still don't have to turn it up on you still don't have to turn your phones up. I am doing a cluster clear on my I'm clearing the cluster out on my Twitter with the new symbol apparently already put into place. So seriously, what is the point of doing a logo change out of the blue? Holy crap, somebody actually brought up an actually decent point. Who did it better, Xbox Series or Twitter? Oh, I do not care about this crap. Let's get this out of here. Like if you go to your Twitter, you will see that it is no longer the bird. Or if you go online more, say, I don't think they've updated the app yet. Because I'm looking at the app right now, but they haven't updated anything on that yet. But on the website, they have already updated it. So there's a new logo for there's a new Twitter logo. It's no longer the bird, it is an X. It's just an X with an unfilled box, and so yeah, I don't think they've updated the they haven't changed the bird on the app yet. Gosh damn it. Well, I am okay. That is an interesting point. Okay. Which do you prefer, the bird or the X? I personally do not give a fuck about the having a preference for the logo personally. Honestly, I'm just curious as to what the point of the change is and why people are so upset about it, I guess. I don't know why I don't know why I guess I don't know what the point of any of this is. And I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out, is what is the actual point of this? A minimalist rebrand? What the hell is that? Because that doesn't even make sense. What is a minimalist rebrand? What, this, how cheaply made this this logo looks? Is that what it is? Because I can tell you right now that it's not hitting. It's definitely not hitting. So I guess I'm still lost on that. I gotta switch my algorithms up on here. Let's see, PS5. Ugh. Holy shit. So this guy actually pops up on my my YouTube thing too. Hold on real quick. I gotta fix this. This is driving me up the wall. Okay. Hold on before I do that. The renaming could be seen as something of a brand overhaul, Hail Mary, for the company. Musk in recent months has repeatedly warned that Twitter, facing steep losses in ad revenue, was on the edge of bankruptcy. So change the logo is your final answer. For that, that's the dumbest move I could ever think of. In fact, I would honestly argue that that is probably the quickest way to tank your company there as well, especially if there's not going to be any real changes. There's a lot that needs to be changed on Twitter, though, to be honest. And it's not the logo. You could have kept the logo the same and there's just a lot that needs to be changed. Hold on real quick. I gotta fix this. I'm tired of this thing shaking. Yeah, it's still shaking. It's definitely still shaking. But hopefully not as much. So yeah, I guess I don't see the point in it. Let me go back. God, they are really copying. So Sony is really copying Microsoft on this project naming deal. So we have Project Q and then we have Project Trinity. Seriously. Hold on, I'll be right back. Goodness gracious, I swear. So yeah, sorry. So that article, let's see. In a radical rebranding, Twitter owner Elon Musk has replaced iconic bird logo with X. He made a shocking announcement of his plans by Monday morning U.S. time. He tweeted that X.com now points to Twitter.com. What the hell? Why does it sound like all my shit is... I guess let me put that down a little bit. Okay. Okay. This... Yeah, that's stupid. That's ultra stupid. Yeah, I guess I don't get why. I guess I don't get why you would need to change that in order to do some kind of a Hail Mary to save your company still. Like, that seems more counterproductive than anything else. So whatever. Thank you. I want to know why people have been hating Diablo.
Right. Well, I mean, one number got bigger at least here for Diablo 4. Diablo 4's 1.1 patch is bigger than the last one. It went up a few point decimals here, but that's just about the only way that patch is actually better.
Yeah, oh boy, people are mad. There's nerfs across the board, and folks are more pissed off than you.
Okay, if you're gonna compete with Threads, you have to find out what makes Threads so great, right? Like, Threads, I haven't really messed with it all that much. It just looks like, Threads just looks like a dumbed down version of Instagram. That's what Threads looks like. So in turn, you have to find out what makes Threads so great. Changing your logo is not about to do that, though. Like, some of the problems that you have on Twitter, I don't know. Like, you need to look at the problems you had on Twitter. Why are you losing ad revenue? I can tell you that some of the things on Twitter aren't, like, the free speech thing. I get, like, free speech is free speech, but there are other things on Twitter that should be taken down that don't get taken down. Like, there are people that have gotten banned for saying stuff, but there's so much content that others should be getting banned for and they don't get banned for. So, I mean, when you look at some of the content, and by some of the content, I mean, like, there's like borderline like porn stuff on Twitter, and you need to get rid of that in order to get your ad revenue up. Why would I want to, if I'm selling ads on some place, why would I want my product to be tied in with that? Just food for thought.
Usual. We're talking boycotts and review bombs over a patch.
That's true. Must be one hell of a patch, no pun intended, to reverse Diablo's momentum, which launched to a record-breaking start. The game launched last month, and lots of people checked it out. According to Blizz, more than 10 million people played the game in June.
Activision Blizzard hasn't released exact sales figures yet, but they said that as of the end of June, Diablo 4 has sold more units than any other Blizzard title at that equivalent stage of release.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge, popular game. And in a recent earnings report, Blizzard said its revenue grew 160% year over year, and its operating income more than tripled year over year. Those were both quarterly records, and obviously attributable to the release of Diablo 4.
It's a hell of a thing actually launching products, isn't it? Does amazing things for your revenue. I don't know if Blizzard doesn't launch games anymore. Anyway, that was all really great news for Blizzard. They'd had a couple of bad years, they needed a win badly. After, what was it, tripping afoul of international politics with the Blitzchung incident, getting just whole-ass sued by the state of California for gender discrimination, and just in general kind of pivoting to more free-to-play stuff with Diablo Immortal and Overwatch 2. They actually managed to launch a good game. Diablo 4 is really good. Everyone kind of agreed this is odd, but awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Fans and critics alike enjoyed the latest installment of the venerable action RPG. I mean, there were a little early hiccups, but most people agreed the game was fun to play and that there was just a really solid foundation to build on. I agree.
And they were building on it well. The game's first patch was super well received. It adjusted rewards for late game activities like Nightmare Dungeons, buffed a lot of classes. Necro got a huge lift from that. Everything seemed fine.
Yeah, so it seemed like Diablo 4 was on a great course for continued success. Only up and up and up, Lawrence. Here we go.
Yeah, right?
And then, well, Blizzard, you know, they pulled a Blizzard.
The old SS Blizzard pulling into port. Yeah, things went to hell again, no pun intended, when Blizzard released their newest update, the now infamous 1.1 patch that made a variety of changes that have just really not sat well with fans, and that's saying the least right now.
Yeah, Gamer Rage. What could be more enticing? The internet loves it. We'll let it wash over us like a cleansing flame after this quick word from our sponsor, Soylent.
Today's episode of Inside Games is sponsored by Soylent. This is a meal replacement drink that's nutritious and affordable. These are things the gamers need. It's one of those products that can help you maximize your game time. Soylent is portable, requires no refrigeration, and it's shelf stable for over a year. You can enjoy it anytime or anywhere with science.
Do not care about this.
Will get 30% off their first order with Soylent.
Summarize. Virtually all classes had their damage reduced thanks to reductions in critical strike damage, vulnerability damage, cooldown reduction bonuses, and experience bonuses for killing high-level enemies.
Some of the most popular builds were directly nerfed as well, including barbarians using Hammer of the Ancients, necromancers using Bone Spear, druids using Werewolf Shred, and sorcerers using Ice Shards.
You did all
survivability
that.
is also down as well, so you do less damage. It's easier to die, and popular builds have been nerfed, sometimes without any alternative, really.
The players are mad. They've had all their toys taken away. And what's worse is this update happened exactly when the first season started, which is ostensibly when a lot of people were excited to start a new build and play again.
I certainly was. Lots of people felt like Blizzard was intentionally slowing down people's progress to keep them playing longer, because that's what companies want. They want players playing their game all the time.
Squeezing that engagement. Over on the Diablo 4 subreddit, which is, it's having a time, I'll say that. User The Morals called the patch, quote, a slowdown to every single part of the game.
User Caladon responded, quote, I honestly can't fathom their decision process here. This legitimately feels like they intentionally said, what is the worst thing we can do to the game? Aim the gun at their foot and fire.
False equivalences, but I've heard people say that about Blizzard patches
yeah.
for decades now.
That's right.
But
That's
it's cozy, weirdly. It's comforting to read these comments again. Others noted that Blizzard even added 2 extra seconds to the ability which let players teleport out of dungeons for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah, now that it's hard to argue against that one. They're just artificially making it longer.
Players started review bombing it. Last time we checked, it was down to a paltry 2.6 user score on Metacritic, compared to a very positive 86 from critics. The reviews, which is, you know, it's a well-reviewed game because it's a good game, but 2.6!
Even after the patch, is it really a 3 out of 10 game? Really?
No.
That's not what it's about, but still, yeah. User Nathus wrote, it has a very solid foundation to be an amazing ARPG. But after the Season 1 patch, it has become evidently clear that they're more concerned about player time retention than how fun the game is.
Some have already vowed to either quit or boycott the game until things change, and you should. That's what you should do. You should stop playing. Reddit user Marzambra started a thread titled, quote, maybe we should all skip Season 1 and see if that wakes them up? So do you think, are they doing it, Lawrence?
Yeah, collective action. Lord knows enthusiasts on the internet and gamers, collective action works every time.
Why did that not
Everyone
work?
agrees, they all do it, they all follow through with it, and the corporations are like, oh no, they've demonstrated willpower, what will we do? It's the same story every time, Bruce.
All in all, it was just a really bad update, especially so early in a game's life space. The game's only been out a month and a half. For a game like Diablo 4, which is supposed to be a live service, you play for 1 million hours. This update was especially terrible.
The blowback got so bad that Blizzard's already acknowledged it, basically. They scheduled a dev chat for this Friday, which might be exactly when you're watching this video, and they intend to go over all player issues there.
Oh, okay. Well, at least they did that. It'll be interesting to see if they detail the philosophy behind all of these changes in a way that's more substantial than just player retention. Because I promise you, they do want player retention. So they're trying to keep players around, but hopefully they can kind of like tell us what else they're trying to do too.
In the past, Diablo 4 Associate Game Director Joe Pipiora commented that new seasons are the perfect time to check out Diablo 4 fresh, after suggesting that players maybe take a break after accomplishing all their in-game goals in a given season.
Which is good advice. So Blizzard is tightening all the screws at the moment that a bunch of players will return to this game. It's a weird strategy. It's a really strange strategy.
Yeah, usually when you want players to stick around, you just feed them as much sugar as possible. Or at least that's been the case before, so...
Right.
Yeah, you would think common gamer logic would say, if you want players to stick around, just give them everything, shove it all in their face. So to slow things down and drag it out, that's an interesting twist. I have to assume that they have a strategy behind it, or that they have some data that they're seeing that shows this actually encourages long-term behavior or long-term engagement more than just making...
So I have a question then. If they look like they're gonna puke, right? I know I'm getting to this a little late because I'm listening to what these dudes are saying about this. Here's a question. Is every deal that you take to do like ads worth it? Or should there be like a kind of like PR deal to figure out whether or not it's good for you to actually try and be sponsored by something? Like, I think you should get like a sample so that you know what you're dealing with before you take crap. Before you decide you're gonna sponsor something. That's what I think. But that's just me. That's just something.
Making every boss fall over and making you level 1 million times a minute. I don't know. Bruce, we both played it for a couple of hours just now, but that was with low-level characters, new characters. What did you think about it? How'd you feel about it?
I mean, I still enjoyed it. Diablo's a great video game. I really enjoyed clicking around and...
So that's a hard pass for you?
And, you know, killing stuff. But it did feel a little slower. Maybe it's because I went from Necromancer to Druid. Maybe I went from a really high-level Necromancer to a really low-level Druid, and that's what made me feel slower. Maybe it was because I read a bunch of the articles that were saying it was slower. Or maybe the game is just slower. I mean, they did add things of substance, like making you easier to kill and giving you less experience and stuff like that. Now I know.
Goodness gracious, I can't stop sneezing.
Maybe it felt a little slower. And to be honest with you, reading these articles now and seeing, oh, the end game is harder, it's going to take longer, etc., doesn't make me want to level. To the end game. What
standards and boundaries do you need before you start doing sponsorships? Thank you. I'm just curious with that, because I guess I don't understand that part. You can't have standards and boundaries with something you don't know anything about. And a lot of these companies that you get sponsored by are, I don't want to say they're like starter. They actually might be starter. I could be wrong about that, but it just seems like a lot of them are starter, So they're trying to get the exposure as much as they possibly can. But if you don't know anything about them, like, how can you have that? Like, if you don't want or like the product, don't sell it yourself just to make what, but you don't know anything about it. That's what I'm saying. If you don't know anything about it, how can you know whether or not it's something that you would sell? That's what I'm saying. Oh, there we go.
That's kind of like, oh, do I want to get to the end of this? Because then maybe it's going to be worse. So currently I stand on the side of I'm worried about what they're doing, and I hope it's not only to keep you playing longer. I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I read about a lot of those tactics happening in World of
Wait, hold on. They did say that the changes that they made were to get players to play longer. So I guess that's where I'm lost on that, because when they said, the minute that they brought out the article that said, hey, you all shouldn't play this until the next season just to keep it fresh, that told me everything I needed to know about it. That just means that whatever it is that they put out, they shouldn't have put it out yet. This is one of those games that I think they definitely should have pushed it back a few months later. Like, this could have been an October release, just based off of what I played of it. I don't think it's worth buying at the moment. I do think that because there's a need for improvements on the game, that I would totally wait to get it, or wait till it comes out on Game Pass anyway, whenever that may be, which it's looking like it's gonna be in October anyway. I don't see any. I guess for me, I don't know. I don't know why they would put this game out like this. But they did say that they are doing it to keep things fresh. Everything that they're doing is to keep it fresh. They said that themselves. So I don't know why this is a question.
of Warcraft, where they would throttle a lot of progression over a series of weeks to make you have to log in, or to log in to do dailies or whatever, because they needed that monthly active user metric up, and that's what they were presumably getting judged by at the time. If the same thing's happening in Diablo, it's unfortunate, but this is kind of what I expect out of every game that's intended to run forever, is that it's just going to manipulate its players into time and money at some point. I don't know, it's cynical, but to some degree that's every video game, right? They're manipulating your emotions for money, and you're participating in this willingly. So I think it's possible to go into this game knowing that it's Blizzard's job to keep people playing and earning money through the game. And if you're investing in this game as a pastime or a hobby, you kind of have to accept that you're at the whim of what they do. Which is not to say you're not allowed to say that you don't like it. You can definitely do that. But forcing their hand with a bunch of angry posts, and I don't know, we've been over this a million times. Players are just choosing the avenues they have to express themselves, and God bless them. For me, though, for playing the game, it felt pretty much the same from levels 1 to 20. It actually felt faster for me because the new Corrupted Heart things that they give you, the new gems, those have some pretty powerful skill effects associated with them. So at level 50,
I can tell you right now, if they do, I haven't felt them yet. And I've been playing through it. Like, I've been slowly trying to get through that game. It's really hard. It's not like how 3 was. Like, everything with 3, even with 3, like, it took time for things to actually be put into place the way that they were supposed to be. Oh. My allergies are going off like crazy right now. I'm sorry. I don't know. It just feels like it's dragging. That's what 4 feels like. Goodness. So as far as like people taking to different places to express their anger, goodness. Sorry. As far as that goes, that doesn't surprise me. You have to. Gosh damn it! I have so much. There's so much dust. I'm gonna hold off real. I must be allergic to Diablo 4 or something. Because every time I tried to talk about Diablo 4, I cannot stop sneezing. But anyway. What? But anyway, I think that when you have so many different ways to communicate with devs, it is very easy to just go off at the hip and say whatever it is that's on your mind at the time, and that really plays against us as the community as a whole. I think there are more productive ways to have these conversations rather than make death threats or anything like that. I think that this is a problem we've been going through for like the last seven years, especially with incomplete games coming out and the microtransactions fight, all of that. I just think that there's a better, like, people are obviously tired of that, right? If you are those people. But we have never figured out a way to have the conversation of how do we actually get the gaming space to a point where we don't have incomplete games coming out. We don't have to worry about, or the people that are worried about it don't have to worry about microtransactions affecting the game. Because me personally, as far as microtransactions goes, I think that there's a way to implement them without them being the most prevalent thing in the game. Like, here's the solution. I would say, I think that in every game, if you are going to have microtransactions, you give the choice to the player, meaning you put an option like you know how most games will ask you, or some games will ask you, have you ever played this game before? And you can choose the answer. I think they should do that with microtransactions. I think there should also be an age restriction for that, just because of the younger generation that gets into microtransactions. And I just think that would be a solution. I don't think it's the end all be all solution, but these are things that could be brought up in a more productive way rather than the way that we've been going about it.
Stay close.
Oh, she's climbing down the ladder. So everybody, oof. Eventually, we're gonna have the AI conversation. Oof. We are going to have that conversation. I'm gonna study up on it more, but that conversation is definitely coming.
All right, so here we go. Yes. So I was not expecting this response from Blizzard today at all. We've got brand new Diablo 4 updates to go over, including new dev replies about cooldown reduction. Should it be removed from the game entirely? Well, the response from the dev team might surprise you on this one. Plus, Nightmare Dungeons have officially changed, and we also get a wild explanation as to why they can add only one stash tab at a time with the next update. And will renown be a thing of the past in future seasons? Also, let's talk about how broken promises of Overwatch 2, another Blizzard title, have trickled into the community's overall mindset towards Blizzard and, more importantly, Diablo 4's dev team. But yes, check this out right here. Okay. And I've got to tell you guys about this incredible Diablo 4 inspired PC. Yes, what you are seeing right here is actually a PC, I kid you not. So get this, Skytech Gaming has partnered with Intel and Signal RGB to build this incredible Diablo 4 themed PC. They are currently running a giveaway right now where you can enter for a chance to win it. Just click on that link in the description below to enter and find out more. And one of the biggest focal points of this beautiful PC is not only the hand-painted chest, which was 3D printed by the Skytech team, by the way, but also the potions on top, which actually react to your health and resources in real time as you play Diablo 4. This is also made possible by the Signal RGB app, which syncs RGB devices from any brand to bring you a cohesive lighting experience. But enough about the outside, because wait till you hear what's on the inside of this beastly machine. This PC is powered by the 13th gen Intel 13600K CPU and the RTX 4070 graphics card, giving you all the legendary hardware you need to defeat Lilith and save Sanctuary. Handcrafted World Games. So yes, real quick, if you missed it, the new Nightmare update is out right now. They call it a hotfix 3, but to me it's far more important than that because it's an actual update to Nightmare Dungeons. Now, I did do a previous video about this, as you can see right here. You can check it out as I go in depth about it. But yeah, there's also these notes, hotfix 3 for July 21st, 1.10, and they are basically saying they are implementing a reduction to overall monster power levels in Nightmare Dungeons. The new top range for Tier 100 will feel like what Tier 70 was previously, and they show some examples here. Again, I detail all of this in my previous video. Check it out. But you guys are here for the new news and updates, so let's get into that right now. So, head on over to Twitter, where I was asked right here. I think I'm on Blizzard's Do Not Respond To list, but I will try anyway. I noticed the plan is to buff Barb and Sorcerer aspects. Is that all these two classes are getting? They seem to be far more broken than aspect buffs alone will fix. And we have a reply here from Joseph Pepora of Blizzard, who says this: we'll have more to talk about later this week. I don't suspect that we'll be done tweaking these two classes after 1.11. So they plan to actually dive into these classes a bit more than just buffs, it seems. Now, we have further questions out here. It says, great to see you guys took what the community said at heart, but why are we only getting one extra stash tab? What is the problem to add a load of them, or even unlimited? Also, with the Malignant Hearts added, that is yet another item to stack up on. Yeah, that's been the biggest problem with Season 1. It's been a pain. Christopher Hora says this: when we say they are expensive, what we mean is they create a lot of memory overhead. When you see another player in-game, you load them and their entire stash filled with all their items. This is what teams are working diligently to improve so that we can have more ASAP. Basically, this isn't a storage concern. It's a performance concern. That is not good whatsoever. And I really hope they can get this down. It sounds like more of a programming issue for sure. And yeah, strange. Now, we also have from Pelican15, who says, great stream today. Really looking forward to 1.11. Any chance you guys revisit the cooldown reduction nerf in the future? By the way, on the builds that want it, it still feels mandatory. The nerf just makes for a worse gameplay experience. Maybe just increase the base cooldown of outlier skills. We have this reply here from Joseph Pepora, who says this.
Oh yeah, didn't they nerf like every class? That's nuts. Like, why would you do that? Why would you nerf every class? I think they especially nerfed necromancers and what was it? I think it was barbarians, didn't they? No, it was all magic wielders that they nerfed, which sucks because those are the classes that do the most damage, at least in my eyes.
This, we're probably not going to revisit cooldown reduction as a stat. We do, however, plan to look at cooldown generally to make sure these active skills feel impactful. We'll keep talking about it on streams because it's
It was
pretty
sorcerers,
important to
yeah.
the feel and flow of combat. Now, we do have even more about cooldown reduction. It says this right here from No Way Jose 171, who says, I honestly feel like you remove cooldown reduction from the game and you just make the spells a fun interval to press. Just my 2 cents. Get this is what Joseph Horror says. This is certainly a position held by several on the team. We'll have more to discuss a little further down the line, but thanks for the feedback. Do you guys think cooldown reduction should be a thing of the past and they should implement some sort of new feature into how you actually handle your spells and abilities and skills? Sound off in the comments below if you do have like an alternative to this. I'm kind of curious because it seems like a lot of you just cannot stand cooldown reduction in its entirety. So yeah, I'm kind of curious about your take on this one. Now, we have this one from Aaron who says, there's a lot of complaints about Seasonal Journey being very bland and repetitive. Obviously, it's easier to build, but has there been any discussion about how to make Seasonal Journeys more interesting? Great question. Joseph Horror responds,
Seriously?
I think it's going to be an evolving system for some time. There is a balance between simple activities that are clear and creating more novel goals for players to engage in. We'll certainly be looking for feedback as we consider future iterations. Yeah, you know, it's not even... When I look at the season journey for Season 1, it's not interesting at all. It also doesn't tie into the story whatsoever. You're doing mundane tasks which has nothing to do with malignant hearts, this malignant threat, and it makes me scratch my head like, why am I even doing this stuff? In my personal opinion, there needs to be more incentive in terms of story for these objectives that are on your season journey in the chapters. It just needs to tie better into what's actually happening with the story in the season. That's my personal opinion. Right now, currently also, another problem that I'm noticing with Season 1 is the Malignant aren't everywhere. They act like, oh my god, the Malignant have spread all over the world. That is definitely not the case whatsoever, and I think that's intentional to make Season 1 feel bloated artificially so that you aren't getting tons of hearts. You're having to do all this other stuff, and then you find Malignant enemies dispersed throughout the world with regular enemies, and you're finding hearts less and less. Of course, you can go into Malignant tunnels, don't get me wrong, but the overworld, the actual world itself, needs more of a Malignant threat. That's just my opinion. Especially like in Stronghold and things like that. It is shocking that they barely have a presence in Stronghold. At least that's my experience so far. Alright, let's get back to it. So, we have this one right here. Hey, quick suggestion. Put hell portals from Nightmare Dungeons on the Tier 4 normal map as constant random spawning events in open. Have them spawn 5 levels above the player. Can also create ones we can go into for hell-style cellars and malignant tunnels. Great idea. And you know what? Joseph Apora agrees. He says it's kind of cool, to be honest. So maybe, just maybe, this is kind of feature that we can expect in the future. It looks like they're looking into it. Then we have Dave who says, hey, Rod Ferguson, so far I'm enjoying Season 1. I have a tiny favor to ask. Can we please see some boss variety in dungeons? I'd love to randomly fight Andril or Darrell, or even a rare chance at fighting a rare Travical or Blood Raven boss as throwbacks. Thanks for a good game. And Rod Ferguson chimes in saying, we hear that and are working on it. So this is something they're actively working on in the background, is apparently giving us more boss variety, which we desperately need for sure. Alright, next up we have, please, the Fury against Fate Quest is still bugged, although I read about a workaround to complete it. I prefer it to be fixed. I do not want to change my frames or anything just for that. And Adam Fletcher says, I'm 99% sure this is in 1.11. I know, long standing. So, yeah, this is going to be making it into, seems like, that next major patch. Now, there was some controversy around the Battle Pass and the Accelerated Battle Pass button, and I highlighted this in my previous video about how people were accidentally pressing this And essentially what would be happening is people would go check out the season journey, and then they would find their cursor automatically highlighted over the Accelerate Battle Pass button, click, and boom, they've accelerated their Battle Pass without the permission of the game, essentially. They don't even have a proper confirmation window saying, are you sure you want to do this? So it's definitely, in my opinion, malicious, and we have some responses about this, so let's get into it. Check it out. Dennis calls it out. He says, guys, the Activate Premium Battle Pass button is ridiculous. There has to be a confirmation button on something like that. There has to be one. Shady as all hell. I love how he called him out, to be honest. Now, Adam Fletcher says, we will have an update that will move the cursor over to the season journey by default as an immediate fix and a small update early next week. But yeah, I feel like it's too late. You know what I mean? There's so many people that have already done this, so they have accomplished their goal, it seems. And I still think it's shady, and I'm glad that the community is calling this out for what it is, because, yeah, it shouldn't be happening in the first place. I am certain that they would have absolutely had to have noticed this. Next up, we have Jason, who goes on to say this one right here. Thank you for this, Adam Fletcher. Do you know if the team is looking into the Tree of Whispers, previously tweeted Hell Tides by accident in World Tier 3, not giving experience? Pretty huge bug. And Adam Fletcher says, yeah, looking into it. So yeah, again, more problems with certain elements of the game not giving out experience at all. Yeah, so it looks like that's going to be in some sort of future hotfix again when that drops.
Yeah, I do remember hearing that there are a crap ton of issues with the new season. Like, it's harder, it's a lot slower just to level up, and it's just like, man, why would you do that? Because why would you do that? Because it seemed, I don't know if it's just me or not, but it already seemed like it was slow. It took long enough just to level up in the original before it was patched, before the new season even came out. That's just what it seemed like to me. So it just seems like the patch isn't really much of a patch. It seems like it's more of a hindrance. Like, if there's a word for the opposite of a patch, then that's what it would be.
I will let you guys know. Now, we have got to talk about Renown. It seems like people are extremely frustrated by the Renown system in this game, and it's just boring. Again, you're doing a lot of stuff that doesn't even tie into the theme of the season, which is ridiculous. So let's get into this post right here. It says the following: Renown needs to go in future seasons. Posted by Cloud Dance. It says, holy crap, it's so boring. I enjoy the grind for loot and levels, but Renown is basically you grinding for 20 Paragon points, and that's it. And you're forced to do very specific content for that. Possible resolutions include this. Number 1, make every Renown reward account-wide, not just altars and exploration. Remove Renown from seasons, no stats from altars, no bonus skill points, no bonus Paragon points, and set the potions and ovals limit to max by default for season. Number 3, make Renown repeatedly available from overworld events and nightmare dungeons. Basically, Renown needs to be something that wouldn't interrupt the flow of the regular grind, leveling, and loot. Again, I view it as padding, and I think that's the intent of it. It's terrible. Now, we have this reply right here from Cruxer, who says, Renown grinding for the sake of Renown is horrible and tedious. Couldn't agree more. They just need to introduce Renown gain from the other sources so that it can be earned more passively. For example, complete a Whisper, have some Renown. Killed 100 spiders, have some Renown. Completed an overworld public quest, here's some Renown. Right now, you have to decide whether you're doing something because you enjoy it, or do you want to progress Renown, and it is painful. Couldn't have said it better myself. That is such a great post, and again, this has to be looked into with Season 2 and 3, because I just feel like people are just going to give up on the seasons. If you're doing a bunch of pointless stuff just to pad the length of the season and what you're doing in that season, people are going to catch on to this. They're going to give up. That's how I feel about it. So Blizzard needs to be really cautious about their player base's time, respecting their time. That is super important. So yeah. All right, next up we have this one right here. Does anyone else think about the Overwatch 2 PvE promise when they hear Diablo 4 dev. And if you missed that one, yeah, it was promised that Overwatch 2 would get a PvE mode. That is not going to be happening, and it seems like a sense of paranoia has formed around whatever is said from Blizzard. No matter what game it is, Overwatch, you know, if it is going to be Diablo and so on. So we have this right here. They go on to say this. So does anyone feel the same way? By the way, this was posted by JMC SMFPC. And they say, I saw the Diablo 4 campfire yesterday, and I heard a lot of promises, like, we don't have X right now, but in the future we will, and stuff like that. And in my head, I immediately think of the empty promises I heard when Overwatch 2 was announced for all to be canceled. And I hope I'm wrong here. I think it's going to be the same in Diablo 4. They're making promises and hoping that the community just kind of forgets about these promises. I'm just playing the wait and see approach. I have covered so many games with promises. The biggest letdown for me, and I'm sure you guys may remember this when I covered it, was Anthem Next. There was big promises about Anthem turning into Anthem Next, and they were talking about, they revealed what they're going to do, this and that, canceled completely. I hope that does not happen with this one. The only way that that would happen is if we see a significant slow in sales and players that are interacting with the game. If you see the population of this game dying off very rapidly, then you would see, in my personal opinion, most likely broken promises happening. All right, next up, we have this one right here. As someone that played
Halo was another one. We cannot just brush off Halo as if that wasn't a big disappointment. That one, Halo actually had so much promise to it, and I just don't understand why their roadmap has just fallen off so hardcore when it comes to what they were actually trying to do with this. Like, do we actually think that Halo could have been a season type game? I don't think it could. I don't think it can be, personally. That's just me though. You know what I mean?
Every Diablo 3 season, Diablo 4 season rewards don't attract me at all. This comes from ICA. Let me know if you guys are on the same page. Now they say this, I know this is an extremely controversial opinion, but wings, pets, orders, and all that stuff you get from Diablo 3 seasons actually made me want to play the game from a rewards perspective. Let's leave the gameplay talk for another post. In Diablo 4, I get transmogs that I'll almost never actually see, titles which I really don't care about, and that's it. Even if you do buy the premium pass, the rewards are crap in my opinion. Say what you want about flashy and colory Diablo 3, the cosmetic rewards actually felt worth it for me, especially when you only had to clock in like 15-20 hours to get them, not whole months. Again, I go back to respecting the player's time. Again, this is all my opinion. There are many things in Diablo 4 that just don't feel rewarding, and I feel like seasons are one of them. Obligatory, go play Diablo 3. Then, yeah, you know, I have my own opinions about this. Let me know what you guys think about adjusting the visuals of your abilities. I think that could be potentially a cool take from some of the, I suppose you would say, more cosmetic type rewards that could be on offer for the battle pass. So, you know, I think they could make some of the abilities more flashy that you actually earn, like, oh my god, this cool visual effect from the battle pass, I want that for my Twisted Blades. I want that for my Rapid Fire, for example, for my Rogue. That sort of thing I think could go a long way, but then again, they do have to keep to the look and aesthetics of the game. If we're seeing a bunch of like crazy, colorful visual effects going off that do not match the dark tone of this game, I think that would turn off people even more. So yeah, this is a careful tightrope that they would have to walk here, but it's just a thought that I had. Let me know if you agree with it or not. All right, so now it's time to get into your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up right here in a future video, so let's do this. All right, so my most recent video was this one right here. It's happening tonight. In-game update, patch notes, big changes, and new dev updates. So let me know if you guys are enjoying the changes to Nightmare Dungeons. Then again, I know most of you are probably in Malignant Tunnels, so yeah, again, you know, I have certain things I want to say about Malignant Tunnels, that they need to adjust the mob density there. I haven't spoke about that at all. That needs to change. All right, so here we go. We have this comment right here, Not Your Average Brain Dance, who says, one of the biggest things that needs to be addressed in the game is the loot table rewards. Apart from creating insane builds,
All right, there you go.
RNG loot drops are what
There you go,
gives incentive for the players to
Brynick.
keep
I think that's your
grinding
name.
content.
Am
Whether
I
for
am I
assets,
saying that wrong?
rolled stats.
I hope I'm saying your name right. But there you go. Though I'm not gonna lie, I get like mad suspicious about that. So oh, did I just waste an egg? I did. Crap.
On items, course, uniques, etc. There has to be a reward for the
Okay,
grind, or
we're
why
gonna
else
try
do
and
it?
sneak.
Once you get your hands on a few unique items, you realize there's nothing truly unique about them. Some of them are nothing but copy-paste cosmetics of rare items, with stats and bonuses that hurt your build more than optimize it. Besides uber uniques, a unique in general should be an item that makes the player feel like they've obtained something of great value as a reward for their grind. An item that sets them apart from among the majority, not just on the playing field, but cosmetically as well. It's one thing to be powerful, it's another to look great while you're doing
I know,
it.
I
Seems
hate
like
dealing with
the only way
Ashley,
you can
and
get
I hate
anything
dealing with these
cosmetically
guys.
great looking for your class is through the store. At least add an ultra rare cosmetic drop for different classes into the loot table.
All right,
that are hard
you
to
asked for
obtain.
that
There
one.
is nothing more frustrating than the inability to
Whoa.
stand out from the crowd unless you spend $30 on a cosmetic that everyone else can easily obtain. I remember back in Diablo 3 when you had to truly
Ashley,
grind
get
just
your
to get
ass over
cosmic
here.
wings. We need more vanity items and better gear to help run Nightmare Dungeons 100. And you got a lot of upvotes and a lot of agreement about that one. It just seems like the rewards are rather much.
Seriously?
Now, officially, what the dev team has said is they are interested in revisiting the ancestral tier, ancestral items, and making those far more interesting. What's going on right now is just not interesting when you hit level 70 and beyond. Not interesting enough, I guess I would say. To me, it feels like the ancestrals are just like an up-leveled version of the sacreds when they should be something entirely different, like just blow your mind with what they can actually do, both visually on screen and in terms of gameplay. That's not to say they should be overpowered or break the game or something like that, but I'm just saying they're just very meh when you get a lot of this stuff. You're like, nothing's really happening visually on the screen for me to be like, whoa, did you see that? So they need more of that, in my opinion. It was one of Anthem's biggest problems that didn't happen. And then we have this one from Abel Gonzalez, 158, who says sorcerer damage being locked behind CC damage buckets needs to change. Forces all defensives and to use them offensively to apply CC
Come
damage
on,
buckets,
really?
We hit like wet noodles late game. So every build is melee or you're weak. This fundamentally breaks the class and build options as a whole.
I'm so sick of that shit.
This sort of thing, and it's good to know that they are going to be changing this in the future. When? I'm not too sure. I really hope that this is changed sooner than later because this is the core issue of the game right now. But there it is. The latest happenings once again about all things Diablo 4. Stay tuned here. Let me know if you guys want to see Starfield coverage. I know Baldur's Gate 3 interests a lot of you. I might be covering that one as well. And then Remnant 2 just released. That one's actually really nice.
Wait,
Well,
is
early
Remnant
access,
2 already out?
Early.
There's no way.
But yeah, let me know if you're playing Remnant 2 or not. I'm enjoying it. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you
Is
all
it?
next
No,
time.
it's
Take care.
supposed to be the 24th or the 25th, I thought, right?
2023 has been a pretty good year for video.
I mean, it really has. It's been an extremely good year for games.
All right, so here we go.
What else do we have?
Right?
I guess I don't know. There's a lot as far as what I have played of Diablo. There's a lot that needs to be worked on. As far as they need to get that feel back that 3 and the last installments have. Tomorrow for Remnant. That's what I was saying. Like, I thought something was off. Like, how is this guy talking about Remnant's already out? That makes no sense to me. I didn't think Remnant was already out. So unless where he's at, there's he's ahead of the curve. But it shouldn't be by much, right? That's just weird to me. All right, cuz I really got destroyed the last time, so unless people got an early beta release, no, the way he was talking, it's like the game is already out. So I don't know where it would already be out at. Really, dude? Really gonna do this right now, aren't we? Even the pigs attack. You. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I don't have time for this shit. I'm curious. Yep, this motherfucker is the first one out, huh? Seriously? Oh, I'm so sick of you, Ashley. Get your ass out of here. Oh! No crap. However, the game has an early access release date of Friday, July 21st at 4:30 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and 12:30 a.m. BST, the 22nd, and those who purchased the Ultimate Edition. Okay, so this guy purchased the Ultimate Edition and he probably got early access for it, so not a big shock there, I guess. Definitely not a big shock, but I need... Come on, really? Oh, you are such an asshat. Oh my god, you got to be joking me with this. And everybody is whooping my ass. Get up, Ashley. Goodness gracious. And then I can't even pick her up. Oh my God, Ashley, you suck. I probably suck because I couldn't keep her. I couldn't keep her up. PlayStation 5 Pro. Oh God. Oh wait, never mind. I like him.
Are a Nintendo news channel. We do like to cover the big stories that happen across the industry, including things that are happening in the hardware space. And today we have a massive rumor, not the first one, but one of the most detailed rumors coming out about a PlayStation 5 Pro. And, you know, maybe just a reminder that there's probably a PlayStation 5 Slim coming later this year. Now, you might go, what? They're actually going to do a PlayStation 5 Pro? Didn't they just start getting PlayStation 5s readily available post-pandemic? Yeah, they have. But that isn't slowing Sony down, apparently. So let's get into this news story because all of the details, I dug into this. While there's other people that are like second and third and fourth source verifying this, the original source of all this stuff comes down to this place called Key to Gaming. And this is their article here where it says PlayStation 5 Pro Project Trinity details and release date. So let's read this here. It says, it's been a month since Xbox chief Phil Spencer revealed in an interview that Microsoft does not have plans for a mid-gen refresh for the Xbox Series X/S. According to Spencer, Xbox hasn't received the feedback that would warrant such a refresh, with 2 SKUs already on the market from the Xbox side. And that feedback isn't at all surprising. In fact, according to Digital Foundry, the company had said during the Xbox Series S/X reveal that the Series X is already this generation's Xbox Pro offering,
what's happening?
And the company decided to launch it ahead of time. But despite Xbox stance on another console,
can you still hear the
Well, according to my own sources, who asked to remain anonymous because they were unauthorized to speak on such details, because of course they were, a PlayStation 5 Pro.
All right, so I'm doing another sound check. Can you still hear the video? Let me know if you can still hear the video or not.
Is in development, and its codename Trinity. If you think the codename has some form of familiarity, you're right. Sony has used the Matrix codenames in the past, with the PlayStation 4 Pro under the codename Neo and PlayStation VR under Morpheus. It's understood that Trinity has been in development since early 2022, with sources citing that although the rumors of a canceled PlayStation 5 Pro
that's the point. Not supposed to be able to hear the game.
Quote unquote fun to read, Trinity has been the only project in the works for a Pro model. Despite dates being tentative, it's understood that demo events for the PlayStation 5 Pro are already ongoing, with the majority of studios receiving development kits by late November 2023. Although the Pro's specs were difficult to pin down, admittedly due to my lack of technological prowess, sources have stated that Trinity will have a 30 WGP and an 18,000 MTS memory. As for the console's performance targets, and as to be expected, the PlayStation 5 Pro will be targeting an improved and consistent frame rate per second at 4K, so trying to get to 60 or above, and new performance modes for 8K resolution and accelerated ray tracing. These are all to be expected in a Pro model. Whether or not a PlayStation 5 Pro console is desired enough in the current market remains to be seen, but as of writing, the PlayStation 5 Pro is in development and targeting a November 2024 release date, which is very fascinating because a certain company named Nintendo may also be launching something around that time. Now, maybe Nintendo was planning to launch it earlier, so the launches won't overlap, but it is quite interesting to just note the timing here compared to what Nintendo is doing. Now, Trinity has appeared to be the last bits of major hardware for this generation, after reporting on almost everything from the DualSense Edge controller via Tryhard Games to Project Q and PlayStation's new wireless earbuds via Gaming Insider. And the next time you hear about PlayStation hardware report from me will likely be on the PlayStation 6, which is currently targeting a 2028 release date. Now, of course, this is just this author saying, hey, you're not going to see another breaking story from me until PlayStation 6. But that doesn't mean we're not getting other hardware, because there's been other reports out there, as is going to be mentioned here. So as mentioned on my Twitter account, I currently have no information on the PlayStation 5 Slim rumors. But as was reported via Insider Gaming, a new PlayStation 5 with a detachable disk drive is expected to launch later this year. It's understood that this isn't a slim version and is set to completely replace the existing PlayStation 5. And if it's not a slim version, I just want to point out, if they're not launching a PlayStation 5 Slim, but instead basically an all digital with an attachable, like what I don't really understand is if they're releasing a PlayStation 5 with a detachable or an optional attachment disk drive, how is that replacing the standard PS5? Why wouldn't you just get rid of the standard PS5 at 500, keep your all digital at 400, but up the hard drive on the all digital, and then, I don't know, just have it be an optional secondary device? That's maybe the thing that baffles me the most about these PlayStation 5 Slim / PlayStation 5 with detachable disk drive thing, is what is the point of replacing the current PS5 with a detachable disk drive version? I mean, clearly it's to push an all digital future. I get that. But if you're forcing the disk drive to be included anyways, I don't know anyone looking to buy a PlayStation 5 with a disk drive that's thinking about detaching that disk drive. I don't get that. Now, you could argue there's multiple PS5 home, like in one home, right? And that maybe that detachable disk drive can then attach to the PlayStation 5 all digital. So maybe you want to move it between places in the house, I suppose. But then why wouldn't you just release that as an optional accessory? See, to me, I find this to be really baffling if it's not a slim model and it's just basically the all digital. Like, I don't know. It's something about.
I think the whole thing is baffling, because at the end of the day, I don't see any point to them even announcing any of this, and I don't see any point to I don't see any point to creating all of the things that they have to create or creating such a story around it when you already have Project Q that's already not looking so great optically. And then on top of that, then you have, I completely forgot the diskless or the detachable disk drive that they were even coming out with. So I guess I don't understand what their end goal is. Is it to have as many models of PS5 out there as possible? Because if that's the case, then I would honestly say that you need to make sure that you have your resources in order to do that in the first place. Something that they haven't been able to do until more recent times, where now more people are able to get PlayStation 5s in their home, and now you're announcing all of this new stuff. And for the record, the Pro isn't slated to come out, from what I've seen, until the end of next year. But then at the end of this year, you have the detachable disk drive. So I guess I don't know what they're getting at. I don't know what they're trying to sell. And if they're trying to sell something, then I don't think they're doing a really good job of it at all. I think honestly they're doing a terrible job at trying to at this. I just think that this deal, the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, has really just put them in such a panic that they don't even know what to do. Like, Jim Ryan is really over there, like, scrambling, trying to figure out how he's going to counteract this. And you have plenty of ways to counteract it. Let's be real. I mean, you have studios of your own that you could start making games for. You can start getting your little exclusives down, getting a system down so that you can continuously release those said exclusives. I can almost guarantee you that if they were to do that, if they were to take whatever approach that From Software is taking, I can guarantee you that they'll be okay after that. Like, but wherever they are right now, I think it's about time for a change in leadership, because Jim Ryan is not doing the job that he is supposed to do. He is just shooting from the hip and hoping that something works. We're still looking for the showcase that was supposed to come out like already. Now I've seen videos that say that it's supposed to come out, but again, I don't know how credible that is. So as far as that goes, in this particular case, you can't just shoot from the hip and then hope that people are going to gravitate towards that. This is one of those moments where you actually have to have games, and you have to be prepared for whatever happens next. We are now entering a brand new space in gaming now. Like we are seeing some consolidation on a bigger scale now, even than what we've seen from third parties like way back. So it's gonna have to result in A, changing Jim Ryan out for somebody else, and B, getting somebody into leadership who understands what people actually are looking for. If you have people at the top that do not understand what their communities are, and we've talked about this before too, like it's amazing to me how many people they put into leadership that are out of touch with the actual gaming space, that it's insane to think that they're going to do whatever it is that we're looking for. First off. Second of all, we have to actually know what we want so that they can't decide that for us. So PlayStation especially needs to put somebody in the position that is in touch with all of gaming, not just the PlayStation fanboys. Like, you got to be in touch with everything happening in the industry.
About it just sounds dumb. And if they're replacing the standard PS5 with it, and they're including the disc drive, then why are they? I don't get it. You guys let me know what you think about that down in the comments below, because to me, that's the baffling thing. Not that a PlayStation 5 Pro is going to exist. Look, regardless of what Xbox was doing, which Xbox had decided, coming into this generation, they weren't going to do an Xbox, Series XX sort of thing. They weren't going to give us a Pro Xbox. That doesn't mean PlayStation was ever going to listen, because look, PlayStation's at 35, approaching 40 million in sales. By the end of, by the time they get to the end of next year, they'll be at about 50 million, which for them is, when they sell 100 million plus systems that's about the middle of their generation. So them still planning to drop a Pro model isn't really surprising, because the Pro model did work out for them with the PlayStation 4 Pro. I don't know if the market really is desiring a PlayStation 4 Pro model, or a PlayStation 5 Pro model, but they're not going to just get rid of the PlayStation 5 underneath it anyways. So, I mean, look, I'll probably pick up a PlayStation 5 Pro just to check it out. Look, I'm going to be honest, as a PlayStation 5 owner, and you can see it right here, as a PS5 owner, I'm not so sure that I've even had the thought cross my mind that it's not powerful enough. We're kind of just waiting for games. Like, I personally don't feel like the PlayStation 5 has even hit its limits. You know what I mean? Like, I, as an owner, just feel like I'm waiting for something to push the system, and then you're going to release something even more powerful. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm used to being in the PC gaming space, and I know all about constant hardware upgrades. So it's cool. It doesn't bother me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, because honestly, look, it's probably happening. And do you think this will have any impact on Nintendo and when they choose to launch their system? Or do you think this doesn't really matter? Nintendo just doesn't care. Heck, if Nintendo was planning to launch in November of 2024, they're still going to launch in November of 2024.
Nintendo gives no fucks whatsoever, because Nintendo isn't in the same space as PlayStation or Xbox. They exist in their own world, just like PC exists in its own world. Now, every once in a while, PC will come to the console space and it will reach its hand in. It will reach its hand into the space, and it will touch touch the console space with something amazing. Meaning we'll get some games that we've never seen on console before from the PC space, and it's amazing, right? That's every once in a blue moon. But Nintendo's not worried about any of this. They haven't been for a very long time. So I don't know why that's even a question. I don't know why we would even consider that we would even consider Nintendo to be a part of these conversations. I just do not think it's worth it at this point. I really think that we need to keep Nintendo out of it because Nintendo is doing whatever they do, and they're going to continue to do whatever it is that they do. And well, nobody says anything. Nobody really has any other complaints against it. You know what I mean? So I guess I guess for me, I don't think it's going to affect Nintendo at all. And it hasn't. Like, nothing that PlayStation has done for the better part of what, the last 3-4 years has really done anything to them. In fact, I'd argue that they've actually made such great sales and progress with whatever it is that they're trying to do in Japan alone, that it actually had a hand in hurting PlayStation, as well as now with these acquisitions that you see from Microsoft. Like, PlayStation is really in a rut right now. They don't know what to do. So at the end of the day, you're gonna have to, we're all gonna learn to keep Nintendo's name out of our mouth when it comes to this. Right now, PlayStation has a lot to worry about, and Sony shouldn't have got so comfortable, and they should have made sure that Jim Ryan was the person that could handle the job when it came to taking the reins of their ability to keep the dominant space. And I think once they lost that, it's when things started to go downhill, where they lost sight of what they could do with that lead. And they could have done a lot because they had a very early lead and they held that lead. But I don't know.
Because guess what? It's probably another portable / hybrid device. And yeah, you go ahead and launch that thing, and people will talk about the power gap between the two, and Nintendo's just gonna go, that's cool. Here's 3D Mario. Here's Mario Kart. Here's Zelda. Have a good day. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this stuff down in the comments below. I am Nathaniel Robojets from Nintendo Pride. If you enjoy little videos like this, I would appreciate if you drop a like.
I guess I don't see why this is a conversation. Like, it just seems like Sony and Microsoft are doing whatever it takes, whatever they can to get themselves talked about, because that's just the way things are now. And it's absolutely working somehow. Why the PS Pro? Why the PS Pro? The PS Pro. Why the PS Pro? I keep saying Pro. Why the PS Pro keeps why it isn't coming? I'm curious to see.
Oh,
whoa.
hey.
I'm actually curious to see what this guy has to
There's
say.
really not a lot of headroom to move up at this point, or not an obvious need for improvement, but that doesn't stop people from speculating. Obviously, everybody's going to want a more powerful console. New hardware releases are exciting, but I don't think it's time yet, and I'm going to break down several reasons why in the rest of this video, so stay tuned. First up, though, is the claim that the PS5 Pro will play games in 8K, and I think that is probably the biggest red flag in this latest rumor. If you don't know about the rumor, let's go ahead and break
that. Okay, so with that, that's why I questioned it. Like, is 8K even a thing yet? I haven't seen anything that would indicate 8K even being a part of anybody's conversation. I guess this is kind of where I look at the conversations, and I look at who actually brings out these leaks, and you got to question whether or not they are just saying stuff just to get the crowds hype and get people talking. And this is why I always say, make sure who you're talking to, who you're talking about, or what you're talking about, it comes from a credible source. And it's really it's really hard to pinpoint who is credible and who isn't credible.
that down first. This comes from keytogaming.com, and they wrote the following. It's understood that Trinity, the PS5 Pro's codename, has been in development since early 2022, with sources citing that although the rumors of a canceled PlayStation 5 Pro project are always fun to read, Trinity has been the only project in the works for the Pro model. Despite dates being tentative, it's understood that demo events for the PS5 Pro are already ongoing, with the majority of studios receiving development kits by late November 2023. They go on to say, although the Pro's specs were difficult to pin down, admittingly, due to my lack of technological prowess, sources have stated that Trinity will have probably 30 WGP and 18,000 MTS memory. And I'm fairly technical. I build hardware for fun. I've built several PCs in my lifetime, and I had to Google these terms. WGP, I could not find a match for, and maybe I will admit if I'm wrong and I just don't know what that stands for, but I couldn't find it. And 18,000 MTS is mega transfers per second, and I haven't heard memory rated that way in a very long time, since I think the days of DDR3 memory. These days we're on DDR6 memory, and the PlayStation 5 doesn't even mention a mega transfer per second. It doesn't mention that as a specification for the hardware. Even if you look up the tech specs, nobody lists that kind of stuff anymore. So it's kind of like the, equivalent of saying your console has so many bits these days. It's just not something people discuss. So it's a very weird thing to trot out, and it kind of makes me believe that whoever wrote this article was probably fed false information by somebody pulling the wool over their eyes, just trying to sound super technical. The other red flag for me in this is that this website, keytogaming.com, while they may certainly have sources within Sony, I find it strange that the usual suspects, Imran Khan, Jason Schreier, are not talking about this rumor at all because, again, try to check with trusted sources on this stuff. But let's put all of that aside. Let's put aside the fact that the rumors are improbable, and let's talk about the realistic landscape of the gaming environment in 2023, 24, and even 25. Right now, 8K TVs are nowhere to be found, so I don't know why Sony would be selling an 8K console. If you talk about raw numbers, in 2021, less than 500,000 8K TVs were sold, compared to the millions and millions that are sold worldwide every year. I believe it accounts for less than 10% of all TVs sold in the world. So 8K TVs are still priced out of the reach of most people who are going to buy these consoles. There's not a whole lot of 8K content out there. YouTube has just started doing 8K content. I don't believe Netflix or any of those services currently have 8K, but I could be wrong. And frankly, that kind of underlines my point further, is that as somebody who is an early adopter of most technological products, I don't care about 8K yet. I haven't been given a reason to care. I haven't seen anything that blows me away when it comes to, 4K is still perfect for me. I have no issue with the 4K TVs I have in my house. I've never thought, man, these could look so much better if I just had a better display. Games are not hamstrung by the displays they're on. when we're talking about our games that we play, you know, if you're playing a Switch, you're still playing in 1080p. But if you're playing PS5, 4K games are still at a point where they don't perform so incredibly well that, you know, beefier hardware would help things out, or they don't perform so incredibly well that they're, you know, outstripping what the hardware is capable of. The hardware is still very much designed for 4K games. We're talking, you know, games like Cyberpunk still don't run at like a perfect solid 60 FPS, and you may use that as an excuse to bump up hardware, but my point is, a possible PS5 Pro is much more likely to be a 4K powerhouse of a machine than an 8K gaming station. We're just not ready for 8K gaming. There's not enough compute power in current technology to give you a good console quality. And I say that very importantly because console quality means that, you know, you don't have the need to really configure your settings. And while console games have been trending that way for a little bit, they still aren't at a point where they're nearly as complex as PC settings. We don't have nearly the amount of freedom that PC gamers do over how their games render and perform. And I don't think that console gamers necessarily want that. So if you're talking about an 8K gaming machine, I don't know that you can get that down into a console size or at a console price point. And what I mean by that is we need to look no further than the current like 8K capable card on the market. And there's really only one that comes to mind when I mentioned that. If you know what, you know, is going on in the GPU space, that's the NVIDIA RTX 4090. And again, it barely makes 8K work. We're talking about 8K by way of DLSS, which is deep learning super sampling, which is a technology I've discussed in the past as being maybe the means for the Switch to get higher than 1080p resolution. Because what it essentially does is it uses quote unquote AI machine learning to upscale your image to make it look better. It's a fantastic technology. It works really well, and it generates better picture quality, essentially. But it's not true native resolution, right? It's taking an internal resolution of, let's just say 1080p and turning it into 4K. And right now, the most expensive card on the market, again, that NVIDIA RTX 4090, uses that technology to get up to 8K. And even then, games like Cyberpunk, and not even on maxed out settings, will run at just around 60 FPS. To say nothing of other games and what games will become more demanding in the future. Cyberpunk is certainly a great benchmark tool for a PC game or hardware to show what it's capable of. It's a gorgeous game, but running it in 8K right now, especially anything without any type of super sampling, is going to be a pipe dream. But more importantly, there are two primary factors to consider when thinking about taking that kind of horsepower and turning it into a console. One is that the RTX 4090 is like the size of a house. It is a giant graphics card. It is nearly the size of the PlayStation 5 by itself. It is massive because it throws off a lot of heat and requires a lot of power. So it is not going to be shrunk down into a console form factor anytime soon. And the second, arguably more important consideration is the price. The RTX 4090 costs as much as 3 PlayStation 5s. It is triple the price of the PS5. And for Sony to bring that down into something that can sit comfortably in your living room and not cost you more than the living room it's in is no small feat. And I just don't think that the need is there to manufacture that. Sony still remembers what happened when they debuted the PlayStation 3 at $599 US, and I don't think that they're anxious to repeat that for a minimal return on investment, because again, you're talking about people who have an 8K TV, which are very few, people who have the money to spend on something that costs more than the PS5, which is at $500 and shows no sign of getting a price cut anytime soon, because again, why would it? More importantly, and perhaps most importantly, your consumer base doesn't want it. I don't know anybody who has a PS5 who thinks the graphics are terrible, who thinks that there are improvements to be made on the visual front to the point that they would want an 8K console. Do I think that a PS5 Pro could happen? Yes. Do I think this rumor is true? Absolutely not. Every single red flag that exists in the gaming rumor community exists within this report. It is making technical claims that make no sense. It is targeting a date that makes no sense, and its primary feature is one that makes no sense. And more importantly, the people whom I would trust to accurately report this information have nothing to say on the topic because they haven't heard it. And so, you know, if you're talking about again, Jason Schreier, Jeff Grubb, Imran Khan, those people are in positions to know this, and there's no way, and I don't mean any disrespect, but there's no way that a heretofore unheard of gaming site scooped every single person in the industry and got accurate information on a PS5 Pro that runs 8K and does all this cool stuff. I mean, would I like that hardware to exist? Absolutely. But I'm also not going to buy an 8K TV until they're not $3,000 each. And I'm certainly not going to buy a console just to go buy a $3,000 TV. So I would say take this rumor with a massive fistful of salt. It's definitely not worth it. The PS5 Pro may be real, but it's certainly not this one. That's about all I have to say on the topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to hear me rant more about fake hardware, follow us. I will find it as it arises and I will tell you what I think about it. But thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing if you're not subscribed yet, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Wait, before I leave you, I also forgot there's the small matter of the code name. I mentioned I would say that to you. Trinity makes no sense. So if you look at the PS4 code names, they were all related to the Matrix, like Morpheus and Neo. However, PS5 code names, or at least what is widely believed to be PS5 code names, have all been named after the works of William Shakespeare. So why would they suddenly go back to the naming convention for all their PS4 projects? That again doesn't make sense. Codenames are often related to one another. I don't quite know how that all works, but I do know that it would be very strange for them to take a PS4 code naming scheme and then apply it to just a single product in the PS5 pipeline where all the others seem to have these Shakespearean names.
Oh,
So,
I could
again,
really
just
use some
another
help
hole
right
to
now,
poke in that
Luis.
rumor. There's too many of them. There are frankly too many of them, but that's the last one. I promise.
Welcome to part 2 of this multi-part look at the history of releases in The Legend of Zelda. If
I
you
just
haven't
killed
already,
myself,
make
I
sure
did.
to watch part 1, where I cover the origins of the series, the evolution of its mechanics, and many of its early spin-offs and oddities. And yes, that includes the CDI games. But there's a lot of big games to cover this time around, so let's get right into Link's transition into 3D. While Japan was enjoying the satellite view and the West mostly ignored the CDI, Nintendo had already begun planning the next mainline entry in the Zelda series. And this would be their most ambitious to date, if only because of the transition to 3D. The gaming landscape was obviously heading in that direction, and a new Mario game was already in development for the upcoming Nintendo 64. The question was, what form would Zelda take in this perspective shift? Well, fans got a taste.
Okay.
Ashley, is this the first time you've coughed up blood like this? You want to start explaining? The cough, the blood, is caused by something called plaga. Okay, you saw those people, right? But you have the same thing inside you. The same thing that made them like that. This, what you're experiencing, these symptoms, they're only the beginning.
I don't want to become like them.
You are, well, lucky. You see, at this early stage, the parasite, the plaga, it is possible to remove it with the surgical procedure. And all you need is some know-how. And oh yeah, the right equipment. Wait, you too? No worries. See, I have a plan. But you're going to have to trust me. partners then.
Hey, why are you?
No time for any questions. The clock is ticking.
Why are you helping us?
Because it makes me feel better. Let's leave it at that. We'll contact you later.
All right, we've reached a point where this is going to get a lot harder. All right, so check me out, right? I've been smelling something and it's been driving me up the wall. And I have no idea what it is that I'm smelling, but whatever it is killer. It is ultra killer. It is getting on my nerves that bad. And I need to take care of it at some point. I got the sound out too. So I finally I got rid of the sound, figured out what it was. So I can actually do what I gotta do. I climbed heights that I did not want to climb yesterday too. Finding out I really am afraid of heights. And yeah. I am super duper afraid of heights. Just found a Reddit post that Elon used someone else's design. Are you serious? I saw, so somebody posted what looked like the Xbox Series. Somebody posted that and I'm just like, wow. I don't know, man. Wait, what is that? KX slider? What? What is that? What is that even?
Hey, got a smoke?
I do. The kind you like. Now where's the amber?
Fortunately, it's not on me at the moment. And you really should be telling me what a good job I did. Busted my ass and managed to hide it right before I got caught. Which is why I'm still alive.
The deal was, we get you out of here when you deliver the amber.
And it's a musician? So then who is the musician then? What kind of music does the musician do?
Okay then. I'll go get it now. How about that? And I do have something else I need to get too.
Let's go.
What's gonna happen to me?
Right now. Let's just focus on getting out of here.
Yeah, right.
I have some new goods that might interest you. Welcome.
Probably nothing that I care about, but hey.
Sale, stranger.
Ooh, the riot gun.
Bang for your buck. I guarantee it.
I need that in my life.
Give that the care it deserves, mate.
I had wooden planks the whole time. I hate that. All right. Can I not sell this? Are you serious? Okay. Sell it. I don't care about that because there's only one thing that I would use.
I'll buy almost anything. Not bad. Pleasure doing business with you. Your valuables won't do you much good in the grave.
Can't tell he made several posts to Twitter and Elon asking him to reconsider logo.
Not bad.
Here's a real question. Can somebody? Oh my gosh! I can't believe I don't have enough of that.
All my wares are in tip
Can
I assure you.
can anybody take on Elon Musk? For a name that's theirs? Because I mean, he has more money.
I'll buy
I'm just saying.
anything.
Oof.
We like our herbs, we do. Heal a man, kill a man, they do it all. Your valuables won't do you much good in the grave.
I might very well have to get rid of. We're gonna sell the skull shaker.
Well struck. Molding a weapon to suit your specific needs. Oh, it's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
He could come for Black Raven and I'd be what? Soul?
Where you gonna put this? Your pocket?
Yes, in my pocket. I want it.
Will it come back anytime? Welcome. Ah, that there's a real boomstick, mate. It will reduce your target to a bloody pulp. Anything else I can help you with? Don't get yourself killed now.
Oh, shit out of luck. Okay, gotcha. It's like, oh, SOL. You gotta put the dots in between, okay? You can't just say shit like SOL and think I'm gonna know what the fuck you're talking about. Or soul. It just looks like soul. That's what it looked like to me.
We've got company. Keep moving, but quietly. Got it?
Okay.
What's going on, Ghost? How you doing, man? Man, I wasn't gonna stream tomorrow, but man, I got there's a Remnant stream coming. Remnant is definitely coming. I'm going ham on it. Yeah, we are doing this. All right, let's see what you got. How are you doing, man? Holy crap. All right, I'm gonna die. And whoop my ass. All right. Watching all the mad people at SDCC. That reminds me. Ooh. Hold on. I think we struck gold here finally. Somebody decided to cover something about SDCC like days ago. So hold on. Hold on.
Some people are not happy that I will be at San Diego Comic-Con this upcoming week.
Who is this?
I did a video about it. The Yellow Flash did a video
Oh,
about it.
Young
And see
Ripper?
some of these Twitter weirdos getting very irate. Nonetheless, I will be there. Let's go through that before we get into the actual.
What is that thing? It was A24. They are really not trying to say anything bad about SDCC. They are really not trying to say anything. They didn't say anything bad about A24. So what are people actually mad about? Like besides this, because I could definitely see this. And I could see a lot of people being mad about a lot of the things that's happened or hasn't happened. But I'm just curious as to what else people are mad. Oh, unboxing A24.
What's up, movie crew? Welcome to an unboxing. And since you see this, you probably already know what it is. But before I get started, if you are new to this channel, my name is Luke. This is Let's Watch a Movie. And if you're and my latest zine has arrived at my house. It's open, and we can all watch me lose another fight with the envelopes. Because apparently
Don't care about your fight with the envelopes.
So, Inyan is the idea of reincarnation are separated when one of them moves from with Hei Sung. And again, I apologize if I'm butchering
I guess
names.
I don't
am
understand
not
this.
trying to. So there is that.
I want to see where they were trying to hype up all this shit. And they took all the people that couldn't get into the... They took all the people that couldn't get into the, whatchamacallit, into the screening. And they basically just said, fuck off. And we're taking your likeness. See, this is why we need the con artists. Let me explain that. We need the con artists to go into depth about... We need the con artists to go into depth because not only do the con artists have experience with cons and going to them, they have experience with working cons too. And so one of the great things about the con artists is that because they have so much experience, they have a lot to offer as far as like reality of what goes on behind the scenes. And a lot of the content that you get from the SDCC or anything like that, obviously you're just not going to get. You're definitely not going to get the things that you are hoping to get, like honesty for one. It's just going to be a bunch of people who just attend the cons and not necessarily work them. The fact of the matter is that when we have people like the unofficial SDCC, unofficial SDC, I think that's what it's called, unofficial blog, SDCC unofficial blog. When we have people like them, they're only trying to hype the crowds up and get people to see something that's not actually happening. Yes, I'm definitely saying that. Because nobody is covering the things that need to be covered. And so we've been getting a lot of, you know what, we don't have Hollywood coming, but here's this, and this. And I'm afraid that the fact of the matter is that there are things that have happened since then, since Hollywood has gone on strike. The writers and actors have gone on strike that have changed this con in particular for, I don't know if it's better or worse, to be honest. And so nobody seems to be covering this stuff. Let's see, 2023. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah, it's just a bunch of hype. You won't get the actual stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And so like one of the things that could be used as like the con artists could do is like, I could do, if I'm a con artist, right? I can do at least 10 episodes on the things that go on behind the scenes, right? If I've worked behind with the actual people, like setup could be an episode. Like you could go behind, like there are so many things I could do with just that alone, like, and then add on this because you have also volunteered as well. Then you already know what is, you kind of get an idea of what it's like to work at a SDCC from a volunteer standpoint as well. I don't see that when I look at this. You know what I see? I see a bunch of attendees that get so used to the hype, and then all of a sudden things change And then now you don't have what you're looking for. You don't have the same hype around it. You don't have the Hollywood around it. And so now you got to find something else to get hype about. Well, where's the honesty? You need that honesty in this. You know what I've seen on the online? I could be honest with you. I've seen IGN go up there and look like complete and utter assholes, interviewing people that have that they have interviewed some of the most awkward people I've ever seen in front of a camera, like ever. Like some of the most awkward people, like the director for what is it, Haunted Mansion? That was one of the first ones I saw. And I'm just like, really? Like, we're doing this interview? It just, hold on, because I let me pull something up real quick. So let's read these. Happy end of convention to everyone but those who were scalping Funko and all other exclusives. See you all next time. What? Well, they have to make their money back for room and board. Not everyone is willing. Sleep in the streets and wait 12 plus hours to purchase product. It's stressful and hard work. Hey man, I have a family to feed. No, we definitely want you to talk SDCC for sure. I think it's regardless of how you see it, like it's a necessity. It's definitely a necessity to talk about. If nobody is going to cover it, then who better than somebody that has like both sides, that can see both sides. And that's what people actually need. They don't need somebody that's just going to be like a mouthpiece. That's only going to be a mouthpiece for the side that they want to see. Well, they have to make the moon. It's stressful and hard work. Hey man, I have a family to feed. Price of milk and eggs are high. I mean, to each their own, but if it's food versus exclusives, I'm choosing food. Or just don't go at all. If all you want to do is make your money back, leave it for the actual fans to collect. Or they can just budget throughout the year and set aside money to attend the convention. Yeah. Selling one or two extra is hardly scalping, but the people who buy like 300 to 400 of them, okay, that I understand. Those are the people I'm talking about. One or two isn't terrible. It's a vacation. Make back your money. So why are people mad at scalping? How are they going to get mad about it? I can easily tell you right now that when you have ride or dies, because it was the same thing with PlayStation, right? And you have ride or dies. Ultimately, what ends up happening is they see a way that works for them, and they will straight lace the hell out of it. That's how you get people like SDCC, unofficial blog to talk. That's how you get all these fanboys. Like obviously here, what was the other one that I looked at? Somebody said he was mad. They were mad because he was attending. Like, obviously, the person that was attending obviously wanted to go there. I'm actually curious here. These guys don't get on very often, do they? Because I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything on SD Concast. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely bring back the con artists though. And quite honestly, I would say post a lot of your experience with cons too. Like if you have pictures behind the scenes, like I would post that. Like show off your fucking credentials, man, like for real. Because like when we have moments like these, this is where we need the unbiased. We need the unbiased facts and opinions at this point. Because I'm not seeing anything. I don't see honesty in this. Yeah, see, all I'm seeing on here, like if you're looking, like you just see what they showed. Like, oh, this is 3 months ago, 2-3 days ago. This is all you're gonna get right here. If you got pictures though, and you got all the experiences, get that shit out. Get that shit out now. Like immediately. And throw a diss or two at fucking SDCC unofficial blog too. Like insult the no, never mind. I'm not gonna do that. That was a joke. Just kidding. But I would say reach out and have an actual dialogue with them. Didn't I say before too that this is also an example? Like I can't believe like everything played out into everything I was saying before. That there are more people that would rather just take than actually give back to the con that they're going to. Which, how do you give back? Volunteering. That's how you give back. I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at these IGN weirdos.
Fighting Alligator Loki. That's only $38. San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Do I make my first purchase? I think I do.
This is freaking amazing. Look at this Grimlock. I'm kind of curious how much this is actually. You know, I'm really excited for this Grimlock. I want to walk away with it. How much is this?
Well, pre-order right now is actually for $1,500, and after the pre-order period, it goes for $1,700.
Gosh damn, you're paying most of that shit off. Why don't you just buy it? What do you mean pre-order? Just buy the shit outright and call it a day if you got that kind of money.
So I'm actually really hungry, and you did say I could spend this on whatever I want on the convention floor, right?
All right, looks like I got 45 minutes left. That's plenty of time. I'm going to find something.
So the beauty of being an adult is you can pass right over the salad and just have French fries for lunch. Oh no, credit and debit only? Do you take cash? No, only credit. So I can't afford these fries? You'll get them for me? Yes. Thank you. I'll pay you back. I'll pay you in cash, okay? $5. Oh, I don't suppose you could break a 10.
I can.
You can? Well, you have more money than I do. Oh my gosh.
What in the world is happening here? Do we see, like, wait, do you see why it is so, why we need, do you see why we need, the con artist back? Or should I continue? Should I continue with the videos? I guess I should continue.
It's $295. That's a no for me.
We didn't hit Artist Alley, which is something I really want to hit up. I actually just realized that's on the far opposite end of the convention center, and as you can tell, it takes forever.
Clock's winding down. Got 30 minutes left. I don't know what to buy here. I might have to just start lowering my expectations. I came up here with high expectations, so I think it's just about quantity over quality at this point. So I'm gonna just start grabbing stuff.
Oh my God. Seriously. This is for real. You can't make this up.
What?
Yeah, it's that way.
But I thought it was this way. Why'd you let me walk?
Are you handing these out?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, thank you. There's actual stuff on the garbage. This is perfect. Look at this poster right here. Crapopolis. This is going next to my crapper.
We're finally in Artist Alley. Huh. It's gonna run me $50, leaving me with 7. This is gonna be worth it. As far as what I'm gonna have them draw, I want to keep that a surprise. So why don't you just go, get out of here, get out of here.
Thank you. I got permission to take this. I don't know what it is.
I've got 5 minutes left. I'm almost out of time.
Oh, these are amazing. Can I have one? Can I have another one? And another one? I have lots of friends. Yeah, just 2 more. Actually, 2 more.
Wow.
Okay, we're here with the man, the myth, the legend, the living legend, John Remeter Jr. How's it going, John?
Very well, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Dude.
Hi, Mom.
I have $7. What could you give me for $7?
I can rip off a corner of this and give it to you for $7. Or...
Oh my gosh. Oh my, JR.
The one good thing I will say about this is that some of the booths will get exposure, but goodness gracious, this is looking nasty. I can't anymore. That's nuts. That is absolutely crazy. Oh. Goodness gracious, this is looking nasty. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there. I got stuff to do. I have a lot to prepare for. I have a busy day ahead of me tomorrow. I'm probably gonna be on like stupid early too. Well, I don't know. Wait, today is the 24th. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on stupid early then. So it's definitely gonna be a Remnant 2 day. So I'm looking forward to that. So Remnant 2, I'm streaming that tomorrow. I have an actual video that I'm gonna be working on as well. So with that being said, it won't just be a regular day. It'll come with a actual video too, not just a stream. So with that being said, thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Kickers, for the follow. I appreciate it.